What is up, guys? Rick Hackus here, and microtransactions can be a good thing? Yes. Now, I know this is an extremely controversial topic, and my thoughts are definitely not echoed by the gaming community. I'm not saying that microtransactions are fully a good thing. I'm going to explain my point more in a little bit. I'm looking forward to hearing from the vast majority of you in the comments and stuff. We can have an intelligent discussion. Some of you, the more frightened, scared of hearing other people's opinions, have already disliked the video, but again, the vast majority of you, I'm looking forward to having an intelligent discussion in the comments. Now, diving right in, what you're going to see in the background is Mass Effect 3 gameplay, and I'm going to get into why this is very, very important. Those of you who have been following my channel for a long time will kind of know why Mass Effect 3 is one of the best examples for how microtransactions can be good, and again, I'm going to explain why in a little bit. But for this this video, I'm going to be offering an interesting perspective because I'm going to university. I'm in university right now with a degree in commerce. So I'm getting my degree in business so I can offer, again, a unique perspective in terms of the view from the company rather than just simply be a consumer who obviously doesn't like paying for things. It's obvious. Free is always better than having to pay for something. Now, I'm not trying to brag, I'm not saying I'm in business, I know more than you, you are a simple peasant and you are nothing. Obviously, I'm not saying that, I'm just saying I can offer a unique perspective. Now again, my point, microtransactions can be good, is mainly saying that yes, they actually can be beneficial to the community, but only if we shift our understanding of what microtransactions are and also shift our focus away from completely, utterly against microtransactions to microtransactions used properly, because microtransactions, guys, they are here to stay. Microtransactions they're in gaming and they're not going away. Some companies may try to avoid microtransactions, but again, they are here to stay. So rather than using our efforts to complain about them and to say we want them gone because they're not going anywhere, we should shift our focus into how to use microtransactions in a good way, encouraging companies that are going to be microtransactions anyways to encourage them to use it the right way to the benefit of both the company and the consumer. So, getting into how this is going to work, we have to look at Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect 3, I'm going to now explain how Mass Effect 3, how the microtransaction system worked in Mass Effect 3. So if you are familiar with Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, I'll put like an annotation or something up on the screen to tell you when to skip to. But if you don't know anything about Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, this is going to be huge because this is how microtransactions work for the betterment of the gaming community. So, Mass Effect 3 worked on the premise of you start out with essentially nothing, and you unlock different skills. Like you have plenty of different characters. First of all, Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, absolutely amazing, definitely worth getting. It's like 20 bucks now, 100% worth getting. Really, really good multiplayer. Anyways, it basically worked as you had a bunch of different characters, each with unique skills. You would level these characters up by doing wave challenges. It would just be like, you know, Call of Duty Zombies or whatever, like kind of waves of enemies, but there would be an actual end point to these waves. Wave 11, it would end, and you would then finish the mission and get experience and also credits. Credits were just accumulated every 3rd, 6th, and 10th wave. There was a special mission, you know, escort this drone somewhere, etc., where if you completed this special mission, you would be rewarded with credits. Now, these credits were used to unlock things. Only getting your character's powers were achievable through just leveling up playing the game. Everything else, unlocking weapons, guns, new characters, and attachments for those weapons, were all done through unlocking Spectre packs with these points. Now, of course, these points could also be substituted for real money. You could buy Spectre packs with real money. Now, this sounds familiar to, I'm sure, a lot of you who are especially in the MMO universe. A lot of that is done that way. It's like you can pay for something. Blacklight Retribution is a great example. You can pay with something with the in-game money, or you can just buy a bunch of in-game money with real money and then buy stuff that way. And it kind of was exactly the same thing in Mass Effect. Now, the thing about Mass Effect is it was not too hard to get these credits, this currency. There was different difficulties of the missions. There was bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. Completing a bronze would get you about 15 to 17,000. silver would get you around 35,000, gold would get you around, I think, 60 or 80,000, and platinum would get you like 150,000. The most expensive thing you could buy was the premium Spectre Pack, which was guaranteed to have 2 rares in it, and that would be 99,000 credits. So the way the game was done is that if you were a good player, like I was a really good player, I'm a good player at Mass Effect, I could easily do gold, very easily complete gold, and was no stranger to platinum, did a lot of platinum as well. And so I never, ever had a problem getting Spectre Packs. Even silver, even if you were just like a decent player and could only play silver, you know, would play silver 3 times, and, you know, a silver round is about 20 minutes if you're good, and so after an hour you could buy the best pack available. Some games out there, definitely Blacklight Retribution I think is one of them, you have to play like a whole day to unlock a new gun. This was a lot more generous to the players. It was a reasonable amount of rate to return. Like, you still kind of wanted. I spent probably about $5-7 on Mass Effect buying packs just because I would have some extra Microsoft points or money left over, you know, like $2 or whatever, that couldn't really buy any other DLC, so it was like, why not buy a Spectre Pack? And so they even did get some money for me, but I don't feel bad about spending it on that game because I really enjoyed it. Now, again, the way that this was done, you could either buy this with leveling up or buy it with money. Mass Effect made a lot of money off the multiplayer. A lot of people spent, me included, spent $7 on it, would buy Spectre Packs through the game. Now, what this did is Mass Effect decided that we're going to put more content, we're going to make more money by getting more microtransactions by putting more content in the game. Makes sense, right? You're a business, you're like, well, we're making money off these Spectre Packs. If we put more guns, more characters, and more attachments in the game, people will buy more Spectre Packs. Perfectly logical. So what the result of this was that Mass Effect 3 ended up with, I think, 5 completely free DLCs. And they weren't just, you know, shit nothing DLCs. Each DLC had more maps, more characters, more weapons, more attachments. And if that wasn't enough, there was more gear. One even features, you know, there was one big update that featured an entirely new enemy you could fight, with entirely new objectives as well. The amount of content added with Mass Effect 3 free multiplayer DLCs was tremendous. It really put life into the game. The characters were all very unique from each other. Like, it was just a ton of fun. The new weapons were always a great addition. Like, the game when it came out and the game now are drastically different in terms of multiplayer. They added a ton of stuff, all for free, utterly free. You can get Mass Effect 3 now. You don't have to spend a penny more than buying the actual game, and you get 5 DLCs for multiplayer for free. It is amazing, and that was the benefit to the community. Mass Effect, the company, so BioWare, EA, was happy because they were pushing a lot of content out, and people were still, they had reasonable prices for their Spectre Packs. They were still making a decent amount of money for the Spectre Packs. The community was happy because they're getting a massive amount of free DLC. Like I said, I ended up spending about $7, but you could easily unlock the vast majority of the content. Like right now, I haven't spent money on Mass Effect 3 forever, and I've been playing it for a really long time. Again, very easy for me to get the credits. Doesn't really feel like a grind. It is very fair with getting the credits and then buying the Spectre Packs. So essentially, I am reaping the benefits of them adding all of this free DLC while the company is still making money through microtransactions. And that's how microtransactions can be used for good, is that adding, like, I cannot believe that other games, you know, more popular games, Call of Duty, haven't started to use this model, because the Mass Effect 3 model was extremely successful. They wouldn't have made 5 DLCs if they were hemorrhaging money, alright? So clearly they were making decent money off of the microtransactions through the Spectre Packs, that they were willing to make up to DLC 5. You know, after DLC 3, if they were losing money, they wouldn't have continued with 4 and 5. So again, that's a benefit to the company. They're making more money. The benefit to the community is we're getting essentially free stuff. You don't have to spend anything on these DLCs. And that's where I see microtransactions shifting to in the future if the community focuses its complaints. Right now, the entire community is just saying we don't want microtransactions. Like I said, guys, sorry, but they're here to stay. What we can do instead is encourage the right amount of microtransactions, have a fair amount of grindfest to get the in-game currency, as opposed to just buying it outright. Like, obviously the community, there is going to be some sort of a grindfest because the company does want to make money from microtransactions, but we can encourage them to introduce just a lot more content, because that's the huge benefit of this, is that microtransactions, they kind of allow for way more content. Think of Call of Duty. So Call of Duty is a great example. They are in the stone age of microtransactions. They are still clinging to the past, and they really are missing out on a huge amount of opportunities, and so is the community. They have just started to add weapons with their DLC. Battlefield figured out right away, Battlefield 3 figured out, hey, if we add like 10 new weapons with this DLC, way more people are going to buy their DLC, and they did. Statistically, Battlefield 3's DLC, for the amount of people who bought the game, Battlefield 3 DLC sold way better, and Battlefield Platinum sold way better than the Call of Duty Seasons Pass or even the Call of Duty Equal DLC. And the Call of Duty really needs to start getting its shit together, because imagine, guys, if they split up Call of Duty, the DLCs, where you can buy the Zombies DLC for $4.99 or the entire DLC for $15. I don't know about you, but I would definitely buy the Zombies map for just $5 every time, whereas right now I'm spending $0 on Call of Duty DLC, because I always enjoy the Zombies mode. Extension mode was fun too, but when you bundle it with a bunch of multiplayer maps that I don't want, that's right out. Now, again, splitting it in part in having, certain, even to purchase, multiplayer maps is one purchase, Zombies map is a second purchase. That's a kind of a form of microtransactions. That's more than just an entire expansion. You end up getting more choice. You get to say, hey, I just want the Zombies map rather than the multiplayer maps, or just want the multiplayer maps, I don't enjoy zombies. Another advantage of microtransactions is that you end up with more choice. You get the guns you want, you get the stuff you want, because you specifically decide to purchase either with money or in-game currency the stuff you want, rather than be bundled with a bunch of stuff that you don't necessarily want in an expansion. So, wrapping this kind of commentary up, again, microtransactions are here to stay. Please, let's focus the community's, anger about microtransactions into positive nature. Encourage game developers to add more content, just like Mass Effect 3 did. Add more content, put it out there, say, hey, either earn your in-game currency or buy it. Because the companies, in fairness to the companies, they aren't making, think about the games. Call of Duty 4 came out in 2007. Call of Duty Ghosts came out recently. They're both $60 at retail, I believe. Call of Duty might have been $50, but I'm pretty sure Call of Duty 4 retailed for $59.99. Call of Duty Ghosts retailed for $59.99. Think of the games. Now, I'm not necessarily saying Call of Duty Ghosts is better than Call of Duty 4, far from it, but the amount of content, like the Call of Duty Ghosts has more guns, more attachments, has extinction mode, has longer campaign, just all of those things. It's just more of a game, more content, took longer to develop, yet they're charging the same price as they did back in 2007. So if you don't want the price to raise from $60 for a game to $70, we're going to have to start to deal with microtransactions, because I'm not saying, I don't want to sound like I feel sorry for those developers, because a lot of them are making a lot of money, but it does cost a lot of money to make a game, right? Like Battlefield 4, they made Frostbite 3 engine. They made an entirely new engine just for the game. There's a whole bunch of physics and stuff that they had a team of 300 people doing their game. It is a lot of work, and a lot of people take that for granted, but we are expecting more and more and more from our games, but we expect them not to cost more, and you can see that just doesn't work. So companies are trying to find a way to recuperate their money. One of them is through microtransactions. So again, just to end it, focus your anger towards making good microtransactions, getting the benefit of added content while still supporting a game that you love, rather than just trying to ignore this all together and say that we don't want microtransactions, because that's just not plausible. Hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe, and as always, have a good day.